as far as ACX is concerned. ACX is kind of the place, the hub when it comes to putting audiobooks together. If you're a narrator and you are in the process of looking to do audiobooks for narration and to make some money, it's interesting. I find people all the time that have never done that before and have always been interested in doing it. And they've always thought about setting up their own studio, and they're really decent narrators, or they've been in radio before, and they just don't know how to make the leap. I think ACX is the perfect place for that. Before I start here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you guys a link for you guys to check out. And I was watching this earlier here today. I'm going to go to Facebook here, and I'm going to post this link in the comments. So if you are online right now checking this out, I'll go ahead and post this link in the comments for you to check out here. And because I'm using just Broadcaster, it takes me a little bit to figure out. Travis Matthews, appreciate you swinging by, my friend. This is what I have here. I'm going to post it right now. See if I got to wait for it to do its thing. It's kind of a little bit slow here, slow process. Trying to open up Facebook again. Let me see if I can do it from the other angle. Here we go. Okay. All right, so let me see how a 7-figure earner made it happen in just 7 years. No, it was 4 years. 4. Making money online. Okay, so I'm just going to provide you this as something that you guys can check out here on your own. This has nothing to do with ACX, but I will mention this here real quickly. And, okay, let me just post it. Let me pin it to the top so you guys can check it out here. Let me pin that comment. Okay. And I'll just briefly talk about this, and then we'll get into more information. This is a 7-figure earner. He made it happen online in 4 years. He's got an amazing story. This course that he takes you through is absolutely free. And if you find out more about what he does with Branding University, which I'm a part of, you're going to find a ton of free courses, especially when it comes to branding yourself and making a name for yourself online, getting more leads for your online business. When it comes to Twitter, when it comes to LinkedIn, when it comes to ways to brand yourself through video marketing as well. You can also get your own free blog set up through this as well. It's really worth checking it out, even if you're not ready to commit to anything, but you're in the process of making money online. This is just an awesome course for you to take. So my path to a 7-figure income is right below in the comment section. So all you have to do is go on there and click on the link and find out a little bit more about his path to a 7-figure income. It's completely free. You don't pay anything for it at all. Check it out, and keep in mind he has webinars every Sunday too on branding yourself as well. So that's in the comment section. So we're done with that. That'll be it with that. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of things here, and we're going to do this. We're going to talk a little bit about ACX. And how I have been able to audition for books on ACX and get books from ACX. Now, I think a lot of people have done this before, where they have gone through the process of trying to audition for ACX. And, I've had people and friends say, oh, that's a complete crapshoot. It's just absolute, it doesn't work. And I even said at one point in time that it's a crapshoot, it doesn't work. And then I got a little bit of training, and I talked to some people who have been doing it a long time on ACX. And then, some knowledge is power for sure, and I want to share some of that knowledge as far as what's worked for me and how it's helped me. So let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and go to the ACX website, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that have helped me as far as determining the best books to buy on it, the best books to audition for on ACX to narrate audiobooks, and things you have to stay away from. See, it's not as cut and dry as you think. You really have to be careful, and there's a lot. I think when we say the term crapshoot, there's been people that have been burned on ACX as narrators because they don't understand the process, they don't understand what it entails, and there are some pitfalls that you have to, if you're trapped into, that you definitely have to, you have to be aware of. You have to be very aware of. So let's talk briefly here. When you are auditioning for an audiobook, to narrate an audiobook on ACX, acx.com. ACX.com is the hub for Audible, Amazon, iTunes when it comes to people putting their audiobooks, getting them sold on through those three retailers: Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Amazon and Audible are kind of two different. I think they're almost like companions pieces. You know, so you see a book on Amazon, you have an author on Amazon. What they'll do is they have a book that's doing fairly well, and they want to complement it with an audiobook, which even helps them get even more sales in the process. Now, you got to keep in mind here, though, is that there are plenty of novice authors out there. They're loaded with novice authors. There's people that you'll get an audiobook and you can't understand what they're saying. It's poorly written. It's written by a third grader sometimes, and you're thinking, you got to be kidding me. This guy's trying to sell this, or this lady's trying to sell this on Amazon, and she wants me to do this. So let's talk a little bit about per finished hour. And we'll do that. Let's go over here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better, and hopefully the zoom feature will be able to let you see the screen a whole lot better, and that will help you. Okay, so if you go up here, you go into the search field. You're going to look for two different things: producers for hire and titles accepting auditions. All right, producers. I'm not sure exactly how that works here. I think. Yeah, producers for hire is you just are just posts, and usually a lot of times some authors will go there and look for producers to produce their book, and they'll go through samples of all this audio. You can go ahead and put your profile up there if you'd like. I'm just going to go through the process of looking for auditions through titles. So let's go ahead and click on titles accepting auditions. Hold on a second, my little boy's been running around. He might have fell. Hold on, Bubba. Liam, hold on. Hold on. What's wrong? Did you fall? Did you fall? Okay, buddy. Did you fall? Come on. Oh, no. What do you got going on here? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Liam. Here we go. I know. You okay? You okay? All right. Okay. You okay? All right. Did you tumble? Okay. Why don't you sit down right over here? Sit down right over here. Sit down right over there. Okay, buddy. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. 3-year-old fell and now he's okay. He's fine. All right, so here's something to keep in mind if you are going to do per finished hour. All right. When it comes to per finished hour, what you do is you take the amount of money of how many hours the book is going to be. So if the book is going to be about, hold on a second. Hey, what's wrong, buddy? You okay? Come here. You okay? You okay? All right. Want to just chill out a little bit? You all right? Okay. I'll get you a drink. Okay. Oh, my. All right. Liam might be doing a nap here pretty soon. Okay, so keep in mind when it comes to this is that per finished hour. So the average that a book that the ACX will give you for a book. Let's say the book is going to take 4 hours long. All right, it'll say 4.3 hours. So you want to do your project rate. So here on the left hand side, let me see if I can even zoom even more. All right, let me go ahead and zoom even more. So we'll go up to 300% here. So that gives you. So here you go. You got. Okay. So here you go. You get your project rates here. This is what I usually put down for myself. So right over here, okay, when I'm doing a search, these are the two things I get rid of. I get rid of 0 to 50 per finished hour. If you are doing anything for $50 per finished hour, you are wasting your time. To me, I think at a bare minimum, you need, my price that I set for myself is $155 per finished hour. Now, if we've got a very small audiobook, and I mean, sometimes you'll have a children's book that lasts maybe, I don't know, we're talking maybe 1,000 words or less. Yeah, you might have some wiggle room just to get an audiobook on there. But you're looking at 100 to 200, 200 to 400, 400 to 1,000 per finished hour. Those right here, but my rates for myself that I give myself is 155. And to me, I believe that's fair. I believe that there's other authors. There's one author that I kind of look to that does about 800 books. He's already done 800 books on ACX, and that's kind of the price that he gives. If he's in a negotiating and people want to go down lower, he'll give them a discount for over 50,000 words. And I may or not do that. One of the things that I do when it comes to pricing here per finished hour is that you've got to be very, to me, I think you've got to stick with this, is that I tell my authors, I say, when ACX determines that it's going to be 4.3, okay, and I complete the book and it's 3.8, I'm going with the price I gave you. And I make that explicitly clear. And if that means you guys have to write out some kind of agreement or contract, which you can do easily, that's something that you should probably come out with an agreement. Sometimes I think if you make it too many details in the agreement, I think you're going to scare the author away, and they're like, "Now, just look for somebody else." But I think if you have some guts, you could say, when it comes to per finished hour, I want to do with, when I look at the audition for the book and ACX is telling me it's going to be 4.3 hours for the book, and that comes out to $600. And if if the book is completed and it only comes out to 3.8 because maybe I read a tad faster, or maybe you decided you wanted to leave one chapter out or the acknowledgments out or whatever at the last minute, tough luck. I'm still charging that. So the nice thing about per finished hour is that you get that money right away. They can't even submit the book to audio until they pay you. And it's a private transaction, so you're not stuck like you would be with Fiverr or other pay sites, or pay-per-play sites, or sites that take like 15 to 20% at all. So what I usually do is I give them an invoice, and you can do that with PayPal. I give them a PayPal invoice, I email that to them, and this is how much is owed. And I would set up a time when that is done. You don't want to be in a situation where, and usually most authors are very good with this, especially on ACX. They pay you right away. They don't waste any time with you. But, when it comes to sending out chapters, and you're dealing with, individual chapters, what I try to do is I try to give them a chapter at a time so they can review it. They can give me any changes or revisions, or the way they want it done differently, okay? So that gives them adequate time. And then, so I do it chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter. So I'm not in a situation where I've completed a whole audiobook. I haven't contacted or communicated with the author at all, and then I just dump it on them, right? Because what happens there is then you go through many revisions. Now, I found a couple of things. I found a trend here, and the trend is that if you're able to do one of these nonfiction books that are one of these industry-leading books, okay? The books that are, when it comes to industry-leading people that are at the top of their industry, and it's a success book, it's about management, or it's about sales, or it's anything like this. These guys are all type A, high-performance personality types that are working 14, 16 hours a day and literally don't have time to deal with you throughout the week. So per hour, per chapter, I look at it, I send them a chapter, they look at it, they give me revisions, I do the next chapter, blah, blah, blah. And I don't wait for them to give me revisions. I just continue to keep the chapters sent as long as I have them. But what will usually happen, this has happened a couple of times, is that they will set aside time on the weekend, or they're on a plane somewhere. I had one guy that was a top management guy at Apple that wrote a book. and he slammed during the week. Has zero time, but he was on a plane ride, a 2.5 hour plane ride across the country to, I can't even remember where, but he had time to listen to the book and do the revisions and send it back to me. So with that said, you need a time frame of when you're going to get paid. I think one of the things that's helpful, and this is some of the advice that I've gotten from several different people here that have done ACX, so maybe, and some people that are seeing this is like, hey, that's my advice. So it's not what I learned myself, but I think it's something that you can develop in your mind, is that, hey, when I'm halfway done a book, I'm going to get paid this amount, and I'm not moving until I get the next, until I've gotten that amount. And you can do that. You have that flexibility. You can do that, and ACX allows you to do that. You're able to talk to the author on the phone and communicate with them, and it's very open communication. And I think that's one of the nice things, because a lot of these sites like Fiverr and others, there's just too many rules. You can't communicate them outside of Fiverr. They don't want you. They'll ding you. They'll boot you off the site and all this other nonsense. But they're very flexible as far as ACX is concerned. And then you should have right in your agreement is that I won't click the there is a button that says I'm done, right? Don't click that button until you've gotten paid. All right, I need my money. And then I'll click the OK button and hold it to them. But the best thing is, don't surprise them with it, but come up with like a general agreement. I'm going to be doing each chapter. I'm going to send it back to you here for revisions, and then you're going to, see if you want any changes. Get back to me. I'll change them if I have to. When I'm halfway through the book, you're going to pay me half the amount. When I am complete at the book and I'm finished with the book and I'm done the last chapter, then payment is due. And don't hit that complete button. And that really kind of puts the pressure on them. And I would say generally 95% of authors on ACX are like that. I mean, I've run into some authors where there's a disconnect here and they're not professional. And, they're late in payment, or they're just, or they're not going to pay you, or they're whatever, But I just think that's a good practice to be in the habit of doing, and setting that up here per finished hour, specifically per finished hour. All right, so I hope that helps you out. And like I said, $155 is my rate here per finished hour. If you are doing anything under seriously, I believe if you're doing anything under $155 per finished hour, you are doing more work than you deserve, and you're working your butt off for an audiobook, especially the ones that are the high amount ones, the 70, 80,000 ones. You'll see people that want $50 per finished hour for that. No way. Okay. We'll get discussing royalty share here too, and what that means, and how to search for the best books on royalty share. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down to 100%. Okay, so we're back to here. All right, so we got the rates here. So hopefully you guys have understood there as far as rates are concerned and what that means. All right, let's see if we have anybody online here with any questions or. Let me see. Robert Caruso joined. Robert, thanks for coming. Thomas Machin, I've never heard of them checking each chapter as you go along. Seems it would take too long to finish a book. Thomas, I think with what I do is, and I've gotten this actually advice from the ACX people, the guy that does all the training. And you're right. The author is not always the rights holder, but I still keep them up to date, and I show them each chapter. So if they want any changes, and I believe when you deal with authors, a lot of times they do want changes. It keeps them up to speed, and that's just the advice that I'm basically giving, been given from ACX, where they have a whole training session in the back, and they recommend that you do that. You do it, give them a chapter at a time, and I'm not waiting for them to give me changes first. I'm just continually going in the process. So. At the end, if I give them the book at the end, I'm not stuck with a ton of revisions, and so because I've done it along the process, and I think that's helped me actually, especially if they want a different sound to the book. But I'm noticing this too here. If they don't believe in their product or have front money, they will only offer RS or low PVF. Yes, that's right, and there's a lot of people out there. So. $155 should be the lowest you go for per finished hour. If the RS hybrid deals that skew the PFH parts, This is funny because we just posted about this. We just posted. All right, cool. Scott Husky is on. Hey, Scott. Nice to have you on here, man. Appreciate that. I work with JJ Joby all the time, by the way, at our radio station here in Dublin, Georgia. So appreciate him. Tho Bishop is here. Earl Hall is here. Thanks, John C. Flood. Michael Acton is here. Kylie Sterling Addison is here as well. Appreciate everybody coming by and checking it out here on Sunday. So that's the deal there. So that's what I'm offering on per finished hour. But I think with me, I am trying to go after myself here with ACX, more so the royalty deals, the royalty share deals as well. So I think that's my main focus. But if I do come across a book that seems like it would be a good fit for me, and the price isn't too bad, I'll stick with that. So, all right. So let's take a look at a couple of things that we have here for ACX. And I want to show you guys one of the books that I chose and why I chose it. Okay, so let's go to messages here. Let's go to 2 new messages. I'll go to projects. Go to projects here real quick. All right. I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to show you one of the books that I chose and why I chose it. All right. Let's do projects. Okay, let me go to the one that's in production right now. Okay. So the one that I'm doing right now is called the Keto Diet 3 Manuscript Step-by-Step Guide into Keto Diet, Keto on the Road, Keto Diet for Beginners. And I've been hearing a lot about keto diets, and I decided to even do it myself, and I started like a few days ago. We'll see how long it lasts, because I've done this crap before. But I've got type 2 diabetes. I get worried sometimes here with the way I eat and not eat correctly, and I don't like getting sick, and I get scared sometimes. So I figure, if I can get on track with this, I'll give it a shot. And so far, it's been pretty good. But anyway, so my Keto Diet 3 Manuscript Step-by-Step Guide into Keto Diet, Keto on the Road. It is a royalty share. So basically, I get a 50% royalty share of all of the books that are earned here. If I'm correct about this, you get 50% of the royalty share. So 50% comes to me. Now, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not positive if that's from the book sold or the audiobook sold or a mixture of both. So I'm still learning about that. But let me show you why I decided to choose this book here. Let me see if I can get to it. I think about this title. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Now, the Amazon sales rank has gone up. And it was at 5,000 originally, okay, and then it was at 30, and now it's at 43,000. What you typically look for, if you can look for that Amazon sales rank to be in the 20,000 range or less, and let me show you where you find that rank, okay. It means it's a book that's going to be doing fairly well. It means it's a book that is going to be is going to sell a decent amount of copies and audiobooks and whatnot, which means that that's going to be profitable for you. So I've been told that, okay, so it's at 43,000 as far as the rank. It's number 10 in Kindle stores for nervous system right now. Okay, it's been number 17 in Kindle stores for abdominal, number 40 in books when it comes to the nervous system. And let me see, number 1 new release in nervous system diseases. Okay, and my sense that I have here is that rank fluctuates. So it can be very low some weeks. It can get higher as it stays out longer. But when I first looked at it, it was at about 2,000, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to get on this. And one of the things that I found out about this book is I was looking at, let me see if I can look at some of the reviews. It has, come customer reviews. Yeah. So taking a look at, going back at these reviews, it seems like it's almost like every couple of days. So we have a whole bunch of people here 2 days ago. Let me zoom this in here so you guys can see the reviews. All right. So most recent reviews 2 days ago. Okay. There's 3 of them that were published 2 days ago. There was one that was published 3 days ago. Actually, there was 3 published 3 days ago. There's 4 published 4 days ago. I'm looking at the right-hand column here. Okay, so look at the dates on this here. Okay, so June 19th, June 13th, June 17th, June 18th, June 23rd, June 21st. See all 26 reviews. So it looks like there's a steady amount of reviews coming in here on a regular basis, going all the way back. June 17th, June 18th, June 23rd, another review. June 21st, another review. June 22nd, June 19th, and it keeps going. It keeps going. You go to the second one. You get June 17th, June 20th, June 18th, another review here for June 20th. June 20th, really good reviews on here about keto. And June 19th, June 18th, let's see here. June 18th, June 21st, June 22nd, June 21st, 22. Okay, so it looks like it has a lot of reviews on top of that. So my sense is that's a book that's doing well. Now, at one point in time, I was kind of hard-pressed. I'm not going to do anything that's, if it's over 20,000, I'm not even going to look at. I think you got to look at a number of factors. I think you got to look at this book here, Brian Myth, as an author. Go back, see what else he's done. He's got a whole bunch of other keto books that he's done. Okay, got 20 reviews on this, June 1st. The 2 manuscripts that he's put out here. Okay, Amazon Brian R. Myth page. The author. Okay, he's got another. Let me see if that's a 3 manuscripts, step by step, June 10th, June 2nd. Okay, so he's got a lot of stuff with the keto diet. So he's done many of these. So it tells me that it sounds like he's doing fairly. This one has 41 reviews. Okay, that's something different. That's not him. That's not Brian Smith, but that's a different. Okay, that's a different book. So my sense about him is that he's doing fairly well. So I decided to do a royalty share with that to see if that's a decent book, and that's the sense I get. Let me check out if any comments here. So I know Thomas is. I'm using a lot of Thomas's advice he gave me. I hope that's okay. It's all about sharing value with people, and if you learn something. Rick Wilson, appreciate you swinging by. See if there's anybody else coming on here. Okay, so it looks like comments are good for now here. So, all right. So there you go there. So that's what I have here for that, And here's some other tips that I have here for you. So looking at that, looking at the Amazon sales rank is important. When I first saw the Amazon sales rank, it was like 2,000. It went to 22. It went to 33. It's been 43. So it looks like it's doing fairly well, and it kind of motivates me. It's just like, man, with all these reviews coming out on a regular basis, I want to get this book done as soon as possible. So I'm in the mix. So I'm part of the royalty share. And also, from what I've been told by Earl Hall and other folks who are real pros about this, is that you're going to make more money on decent royalty share books than you would if you did the per finished out. So that's my thought process on that. One of the things that Thomas mentioned to me as well too, that's been helpful, is that you can negotiate with the rights holders. You really can. And you can come up with a hybrid deal where you're asking for a per finished hour and you're asking for royalty share as well on top of that, if you're able to negotiate that. My other thought here is if you're doing one, give yourself 30 days before you click the I accept button. Look at the terms, talk to the rights holder, the author, whoever, and say, I need 30 days. For me, it's not a matter that I'm going to get it done in 30 days necessarily. It just means that that gives me a safety net. So when I have multiple orders, like this month right now, I have 3 orders, three audiobooks that I'm currently doing. I got 2 from Fiverr and then this one from ACX here. And they're sizable books. And so I need 30 days to give me some flexibility so I'm not stuck with the deadline of one book that I have a week to get done, okay? And all the other ones I'm catching up on, and I'm stuck trying to get this one done. I don't want to be in that situation. I want to be in a situation where I have a whole bunch of flexibility, and in that 30-day period of time, I'm doing multiple chapters of different books. I got one that's about a $700 book. I've got one that's about a $280 book, and then one that's a royalty share book. So in that 30-month period of time, I'll do a chapter of each at a time, and one chapter of one chapter, and simultaneously go back and chapter of each of those 3 books. So that's something that gives me that flexibility, gives me that time in order to move forward. And so I say all that to say this is that if you do that, you'll be able to pace yourself. And hopefully my goal, and usually this is the goal, I usually get these done in 1 to 2 weeks. Depending on how much work I have. I also have another huge order. I have a enormous, he's ordered before, and I'm charging him $2,000 to do it for some Donald Trump thing that I have. I do impersonations of him. That's going to be another 30 days I'm giving him to do it. It's a huge project. We'll see how that works. And that's kind of still in the works. So that would be something else I would have to add to the wheel in order to get all this done. And I think I'm in a situation right now, too, where I'm using the radio station studios, which they have no problem with, as long as I do my work, and I do my work, and I do my show, and everything's cool. And, when I have spare time, I go ahead and I use that studio. I'm in the process of putting my studio together at home. And once I do that, that's going to give me more flexibility to increase my workload and get these done in a timely manner, because I'm restricted with how much time I have. I have probably about 3, if I had to add it all up, probably about 3 or 4 hours during the week. I like to spend time with my kids here during the weekend nights, and I don't like to spend too much time away from home at the studio, which is about it's less than a mile from my home. But at the same time, if it was home, it would be in a situation where I would get a whole lot done in a much quicker period of time, and be in a situation where I'm able to juggle all of them at once and get it done. So that's something that has helped me out tremendously. So I think with audiobooks, you've got to look at a couple of things. You've got to look at the author, how many books they've done. Amazon sales rank definitely plays a factor. I'm noticing, and this is something that Thomas, who's on with us here on this, checking this out, he's a great resource too, is that the sales rank might be something that can fluctuate. And a lot of times people try to beef up their profile and try to get their rankings a lot higher. I find out something too here that's key, is that the rights holder could be a publisher. Okay, the rights holder could be somebody that's not the author, which is good, because I noticed something. Because right now I have a couple of audiobooks on Fiverr that I get from Fiverr. And I have one guy that as soon as I'm done a book, he has another one for me all the time, just nonstop, which is awesome. And he has one right after the other, and the volume has just been incredible. And as soon as I'm done, he gives me a 5-star. He loves it, and he's not. And I've noticed something about him too, is that when you have publishers or rights holders that are not authors, my experience has been so far, and maybe is that they're not too picky. They want somebody that sounds good. Authors are much more picky because it's their baby, right? And they have a way of what it wants to sound like. And I'm just comparing the two. Compare you to the one. I have one guy who's with a publishing company. I send him a chapter at a time, let him know where I'm at in the process. He's like, "Yep, sounds good, great, thanks. Okay, great, thanks, all right." I never really get any feedback from him. I mean, and I could probably do armpit farts, and he would stay great. I don't though, obviously. But he's not too picky about anything, and usually that's done. Authors are a different nut to crack. I had one guy on ACX who was the author doing a sales book. There were certain things that he wanted. He wasn't too bad in the end as far as what he wanted. He wants the sentences said slower, or he wants this little word changed, like an A or an or something very small. and he had a couple of nitpicky things that he wanted, but it wasn't anything that was too overwhelmingly ridiculous, and I got those done as far as changes are concerned. So you get that nuances, and I think that my sense too, and maybe somebody can help me out with this, Thomas, if you're still listening, or other people that are still listening, when it comes to authors, especially new authors, you get the sense that there's plenty out there that are in ACX that their rankings are in the toilet. Okay, their Amazon sales rank is like 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. But, if you have a publisher or a rights holder, is there a trend? I guess the question I have for people, is there a trend that you see where the rights holder knows what they're doing as far as marketing the book more effectively versus the author? I'd really like to know that trend. Who markets the book more effectively so they're showing up in the sales rank? Obviously, it's not necessarily, I'm assuming being a good book or not, or a bad book has something to do with it. But at the same time, knowing what to do marketing wise and not knowing what to do marketing wise plays a big deal when it comes here to the Amazon sales rank and how they're doing. Let me see if anybody's here that wanted to. We'll answer some questions here before we go on now. We'll go on here. Let me see here. Robert Caruso. Sorry if this is a dumb question. I'm still a newbie. The finished file is pretty big. Do you send it through Dropbox or Google Drive, or is there something else to send it? Now, you're talking about ACX here specifically, Robert. Is that the deal? My experience has been with ACX is that you upload it to the file, and I'll show you. It's very simple. It's super simple. All you do is that when you go here to your projects, I'll show you my projects. Okay, I'll go on it again. It's right here. I'm just going through the process so you know what to do. So let me take a look here at my what's in production. All right. Okay, so here we go. We'll go with the keto one here that I'm doing right now, okay? Produce finished audio. This is where I'm at. I click on here. All right, let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. For those of us like me who need our granny glasses every now and then, right? So here you go. And produce audiobook. So there you go. You got your opening credits. Let me see if I'll go ahead and play this here. All right, let's take a listen, okay? Let's take a listen. There you go. So opening credits, here you go for my audiobook. Is it playing? Okay, do I have the volume up? Let's see here. Check 1, 2. Oh, let me get my headphones on. Hold on 1 second.
I will stop.
All right, let me do introduction.
Okay, so
there you go. You get the audio right there.
We'll go with the keto one here that I'm doing right now, okay?
I'm getting feedback. So let me see if I can... hold on 1 second. Fix the feedback loop. Okay, let me turn down Facebook. Let me get over here. All right, here we go. So there you go.
Downloading this ebook, and thank you for doing so. The following chapters will teach you the ins and outs of the ketogenic diet. Chapter 1.
All right.
Discusses the...
Okay, so there you go. That's where you upload everything. All right, so you get your audio, you go to that ACX, you produce audiobook, you download it here, you can replace it, you can download it, you can upload it, whatever. If it's a big file, I've got 27 minutes, I've got 15 minutes, I've got chapter 1. There's a process. I use what ACX recommends to bring it to 192 KBS or whatever the stupid term is. I don't even know what it is, but it's a special MP3 file. You have to take it into WAV and convert it to an MP3, and you upload it, boom, right here. Very easy to do, super easy to do. Right there, directly to the website. When you're on Fiverr, that's a different story. I'm getting off on a tangent here, but Fiverr, you can add up to 20 files of those chapters for ACX. So that's basically how to do it. So as a newbie, that's what you would be doing. All right. So hopefully, Robert, I answered your question here. Let me see. Would it be a good idea to voice your own novel, or is it better to distance yourself from it? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that question. Only you can answer that question, LB. But if you're in voiceover and you have your own novel that you're doing, if you do have a novel, I'd voice it. If I had a book, I'd voice it, absolutely. Especially if you have the skills to do it. And because I personally think that if you have your own book and you're narrating it, that's a special touch right there. You know exactly how you want it to sound versus trying to get somebody else to make it sound how you want it to sound. So if you have the skills, yeah. And I think people that are getting the audiobooks that are looking for people are usually up and coming folks. I mean, look at Stephen King doesn't even narrate his own audiobooks. He has an actor to do it. And I can't even remember the name of him, but he's kind of a fairly well-known actor. But he sounds awesome, by the way. And it's probably because Stephen King just doesn't have the time to do all that, and he's putting out books left and right. I think from a standpoint of having your own novel, yeah, go ahead and do it. Absolutely. You can charge yourself $155 per finished dollar if you want to. But no. Okay, so there you go. I hope that helps. Let's see here. ACX Masterclass. Yeah, Thomas, I learned from ACX Masterclass the information about giving one file at a time, each chapter as you go along to a finished book. All it is a communications process. I am finding out, though, that works well with authors. My sense is that because they kind of look at me like, okay, great, you send a chapter, whoop-de-doo, here's a little golf clap for you. And that's usually from publishers. They're like, yeah, thanks, but just get it done for me and we'll be good. That's my sense I get from rights holders, as you call them, that are publishers or whatnot, that are not authors. So if they don't believe in their product, okay, let me see, Tim Smith. Tim Smith, thanks for coming by. Let's see if we have any more important people checking things out. Okay. All right, so just answering some questions there, and we should be good to go with that. All right, let's go back to this here. There is something that I wanted to show you here, and while we're on the topic of rights holders and rights holders versus authors versus publishers, here's my sense about this. And I think I'm probably right with this. When you're auditioning for a book, okay, my sense is that let me do this. Like I said, I cross these out when I'm doing a search, and I don't do any of the erotica stuff, and I try to do it in English, obviously too. So I kind of exclude that. Not any language, just English. Okay, apply. When I'm looking for a book and I'm auditioning, I try to do it first thing in the morning. This one that I auditioned for and grabbed and nabbed, okay, the keto diet one here, okay. Let me go back to that here just so I can look at it for a frame of reference. Okay, this book was placed on ACX the 15th of June, okay, and I auditioned for it the 15th of June. And when it first hit, so it was at about 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and I auditioned for it, and I immediately got it. And it's like, yeah, sounds good. My thought is this: if there's a rights holder that's not an author, okay, and my personal feeling is that I would rather, as a person who wants to make money, okay, and I'm not too picky about the books, all right. And I have some standards as far as what I will and will not do, but I'm not too picky, about content. Okay, is that I would rather have a rights holder that is the publisher. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because they're likely to give me more work down the road if they like what they hear. And another part of this too is that there's going to be a pickiness level with authors. Authors are going to be combing through every audition, wanting to see how it sounds because how they feel that their book needs to sound. All right. My process here with the keto diet here, it's not Brian M. Smith is not the guy who's I'm messaging. It's some other guy. Okay, so I'm assuming he's a publisher or somebody else. Is that he just wants to hear a fairly decent voice. Okay, he's not that picky. Okay, and I was the first one to do it. My sense is that the best time to audition for these books, okay? And audition's about 5 minutes. It doesn't take long at all to send a quick audition. Is that if you try in the morning, you're most likely to get it, okay? I think the longer that it's posted on there, okay, the longer that it's posted on ACX, the chances of you nabbing it go down significantly. And the reason why I say that is I'll give you an example. One guy really liked my voice. He goes, "Yeah, I really liked it, but I had 50 people audition for this book, and I chose someone else 2 days ago." So I don't know if he was maybe he would have chosen me, maybe he wouldn't have. But if it just immediately posted and I got on it quick enough, then perhaps I would have gotten it. So when you're auditioning for these books on ACX, I think what's helpful is to get it first thing in the morning. And I met here's the funny thing is I've met so many people that have said to me, "Hey, ACX is a crapshoot, don't mess with it. I've tried it, doesn't work." Okay, I won't. And I was just like, then I got some information, and I'll give credit to Earl Hall and Steps to Voiceover Success, awesome Facebook group to check out, by the way. And people that know ACX and are doing it. And they said, no, there's a process that you go through. But you got to understand this, and I think this is where the schedule is all important. If you stick with the schedule long enough and you do the schedule correctly, I believe the correct schedule in order to audition is in the morning time, all right? And that's, for me, it's like 6A to 9A, all right? And look through what's on there, audition, and you're going to get a lot of rejections. You just do. Okay, you get an email about your audition. It's been rejected. All of a sudden, boom, you get one. Just out of the blue like that. If you consistently do it. If you're one of these people, I've tried 10 and 20 and it don't work. Okay, well, maybe you tried to audition for a book that's been on ACX for 5 days. And they already have 50 different people. It has nothing to do with, well, you or the process or whatever, or it's a crapshoot or whatever you think it is. Maybe that it's just something that you're not effectively auditioning correctly. And I believe to audition correctly is at early time in the morning when it first hits. Okay, and I'm not looking for ones that first hit and don't first hit. I just go through them one by one that I see up there, and I don't pay attention to the dates or anything, but I just know that during that time period, and if I do that consistently long enough, if I do that on a regular basis, I don't do it every day, I do it every couple of days, and I think I'm in a position now where because I don't have the full access that I need in a studio, I want to get to the point where I'm doing 7 to 10 audiobooks per month. If I can get in that situation, then we're talking awesome money. Then we're talking a different playing field altogether. And that's when I officially get my studio, which I'm in the process of working in my home, done and in there, and I'm doing that on a regular basis. Then I can crank these suckers out anytime I want to crank them out, versus being in a studio and then getting kicked out of that studio because the afternoon guy's coming in and this production person needs this and that and the other and blah, 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 blah. And plus I'm at home here with my kids. My wife needs something. Kids need to go someplace, and we have a routine, and me going to the studio during time screws that routine up, blah, blah, blah. So if the routine is that studio's here in my home and I'm able to go anytime that I want, then I'm going to get that freedom that I can seriously sit down anytime I want to do these audiobooks and get, do it anytime I want, get in there, get out, and get it done. I'll be able to do it. So right now I'm kind of in a situation where 3 or 4 is my limit per month, okay, where I'm balancing that act and trying to get all these done in a timely manner. So I'm not, with that said, I'm not auditioning every single day on ACX. I'm doing once or twice a week, and I'm just kind of taking a break from auditioning from ACX because the workload right now has just gone up a few notches. And I don't think I'm going to be able to go to do it any more than I have without really getting into trouble. So that's kind of where I'm at right now here with ACX. All right, so I think that does it. Let me see if we have any questions here, and then we'll just wrap up here the Facebook Live with what's going on. Okay. Technically, morning auditions work for everything. Amen, Thomas. Ain't that the truth? Edited. Okay. Auditions are raw, edited. Okay. Not mastered, or are they mastered? Auditions are, I'm not sure what you're asking. Mary Perutis, thanks for coming by. Thank you. Albie, you're welcome. Hopefully I answered your question earlier. Frank Mueller, awesome. Thank you. Abby Ribbles, would be good idea to voice your own novel. I believe I answered that. Okay. All right. So there we go with questions. All right, guys, before I go here, if you guys can check out the comment that's pinned down below, I believe this would be very helpful here for you. Let me go ahead and see if I can, let me see if I can get you the view of this. I know we're in tunnel vision here right now. Okay. All right, this pinned post here, right here. Let's see if I can zoom in. I think we're in this tunnel vision, which is kind of screwy. So I'm not gonna mess with that. But if you guys can check out the comment section right now that I've posted, I have posted a link for you here. It's a free training here from a 7-figure earner, and he kind of walks through the step and walks through the schedule and process that he does and that he did in order to make 7 figures a year. And he only did it in 4 years. It's completely free. He also has some amazing online training for your online business to help you succeed when it comes to making money online, no matter what business it is. It could be voiceover, it could be network marketing, it could be a brick and mortar business, but he really helps you brand yourself. And he has a whole training course. Lots of it's free. You got free Twitter, free LinkedIn training, lots of free training on how to brand yourself effectively in video marketing. And I think you're going to get something from it if you check it out. And like I said, most of it is just, completely free. So go ahead and check out the link below and his 7-figure earner, how he made it in just 4 years. That link is right there. It's pinned. For you guys to check out. And what I'll do is, after we've done the Facebook Live here, what I will do is I will go ahead and I will post that in the title of my Facebook Live, so you guys can check it out. So hope that has been helpful here for you today here as far as ACX. These are just some of the things that I've learned along the way. That if you're frustrated with ACX, you've tried it before, like some of my friends that I had one guy been talking to at work that told me it was a crapshoot. He loves doing audiobooks. He said, I can't get it. And I just encouraged him, gave him some advice, and he nabbed his first audiobook, and he's excited about it. He can't believe he did it. So, you never know who you're going to influence here for the good as far as helping other people when it comes to this. Hope that's helped you guys out here. And if you guys can check out my link, take a look at it. And Branding University is what it's all about. They have students all the time. They have awesome webinars. They give you all kinds of online tips and tricks as far as getting more leads for your business. Appreciate it, guys.